Hey everybody, what's going on? Today we're taking a trip from Pennsylvania to Maryland, and we're currently stopped at the I-68 rest stops at Sideling Hill. The rest stops service both the east and westbound lanes, but there's some interesting things here that I think we're going to check out. Now, as for amenities and services, really all there is bathrooms and vending machines. There's not much more than that. There is a visitor center that we will talk about. But other than that, mainly all the interesting things here are more like adventure sorts aspects. So we're going to get you a little bit of history, and then we're going to take you on a little bit of a tour of what this Sideling Hill Rest Stop has to offer.
In order to fully understand what's going on with where I'm at right now, I need to give you a short geography lesson about what's considered to be the National Pike. If you're in Pennsylvania like me, there's only one National Pike. It's Route 40, and it runs from the border at Washington County at West Virginia down to the south to the border at Maryland with Pennsylvania. In Maryland, it's a little bit more confusing. There is a Route 40 that runs in Maryland. In fact, there's a couple different things that are fully considered to be Route 40. There's Route 40 Scenic, Route 40 Alternate, different kind of alignments. Um, but the majority of Route 40 is kind of severed in Maryland, and it's made up of mainly what's considered to be Route 40 Scenic slash Alternate, Maryland I-68, and Maryland 144. 68 is the interstate highway, 4 lanes in most places, 6 in some, and it runs all the way from West Virginia in the Morgantown area all the way to where 68 meets 70 near Hancock, Maryland. As you can see on this map here, that's around here before you get to Hagerstown. Um, and basically, that is the National Pike to an extent. Um, there are portions of Scenic and Alternate 40, which are called National Pike, as well as Maryland Route 144. Maryland Route 144 is a collection of older alignments of 40, just as 40 is basically an alignment of itself. And then 68 also has portions of itself which are called 40. Sideling Hill Cut that we're going to talk about today is located along 68. And the reason is because originally, and it's somewhere in this area here, before Hancock but after Cumberland, um, I could look up the actual numbers about, you know, exits and stuff, but I'm not going to do that. It's in the area between Cumberland and Hagerstown, give or take, I don't know how many miles. You can Google it. But it's in that area, and originally what Sideling Hill is, and there's a Sideling Hill in Pennsylvania too, the Pennsylvania Turnpike dealt with it. It's a giant hill. And in Pennsylvania on the Turnpike, they made a tunnel through Sideling Hill, which has been bypassed. It's been long bypassed. I want to visit that too, so maybe someday in the next 2 years or so, we're going to go do that. But in Maryland, originally, Route 40 went over top of Sideling Hill and had a hairpin curve. I don't have any pictures of that, but you can imagine when I say hairpin curve what that means. Well, when they decided to do the I-68 route, I mean, they took a page out of the Pennsylvania playbook. They looked at that and they're like, yeah, we're not making a tunnel. And they decided to do this. So, as you'll see in a few minutes, they went ahead and they made this giant cut in 68. Now, more info about 68. It took them 25 years to build Interstate 68 between 1965 and 1991, basically to fix all the problems that they had in West Virginia with different roads where 79 met 73, and then it went across Maryland, and they had Route 40, and it was a mess. The nation changed and decided that they wanted to have more roads that were just, concise, not have so many little routes, and just have more main national roads to go on. Watch any documentary about the highway system, and I don't need to talk about that anymore. But this portion of 68 was the final portion of 68 because they did not know what they wanted to do about this mountain. And eventually they decide, well, we're just going to cut a hole in it because it would be a lot more efficient than building a tunnel or building bridges to bypass it. They save money. They even save money because they use the rock from the mountain to build parts of the road. So you could read this, excavation began on it in 83. It took 16 months, and they opened the highway in 85. Now, they opened the highway in 85. The visitor center and the bridge and all that other stuff that we're going to see, some of that stuff didn't open until 1991. But, basically, you could look at these pictures. You could see, and I'll give you more in-depth look when we get to that in the video. It's 200 feet wide. It's 720 feet at the top. So 200 at road level and 700 at the top. It widens out as you go up. They used 2,600 tons of explosives, which I can only imagine that, and it would have been awesome to see. No one got hurt, apparently, fatally or seriously during the whole thing. And you can just read all this other stuff. $20.1 million, and 90% of it was paid by the federal government, mainly because I'm assuming the federal government was like, we're tired of, whatever problems. And there have been other problems with, if you want to go down a deeper rabbit hole, with 40 and 144 and bypasses with Interstate 70 in the area. There's an abandoned bridge out there that a bus went over the side, which was another abandoned alignment of 40, 144, which I want to visit that too eventually. Like I said, I'm in Maryland a lot, so we're going to go visit some of this other stuff. And it says in here, they looked at the idea of a tunnel, but it was a poor choice because it would have cost more to upkeep. Obviously, there's a lot of other drawbacks with tunnels: traffic, ventilation. And, if there was an accident in the tunnel, it's a lot harder to get people out than, if there's a road cut, they can land a helicopter somewhere. So it also talks about the Sideling Hill Exhibit Center. That's a visitor's center now. The Exhibit Center closed in 2009 due to lack of funds. Probably something to do with the recession, but, that's something else. But anyway, this has been a history lesson. Moral of the story, this is cool to look at, the whole thing about Sideling Hill Road cut. And the 68, 40 and 144 deal, that's confusing. If you're confused after listening to this, just Google Maryland National Pike, and you could read the story about why everything is the way it is. I don't even understand it as much as I probably could, but just think that those three roads make up the National Pike in Maryland in different capacities at different times. And it's fairly visible if you look at the road while you're driving on it. It'll tell you, like, this exit is 144 National Pike, Scenic 40 National Road, 68 National Corridor, but it's easier to see if you're looking at it compared to, like, me talking about it. So let's get to the actual tour and stop talking about confusing roads. Now that we've talked about the history, let's take a little bit of a trip around here at the Sideling Hill Rest Stop. This is what the parking area looks like. Nothing spectacular. That little building down there is the bathrooms and vending machine. But when you come in the eastern portal here, there's a little ramp that goes up this way, and we're gonna walk up here. And what this leads to is the bridge that goes across I-68, and it links the eastern and western sides of the rest stop. So you could park here, and the reason why they link them is because there is a Veterans Memorial on the western side of the rest stop, as well as the visitor center, which would make sense because for the most part you would think if you're going to be coming into Maryland to visit, you'd be coming from the east, but I guess you could be coming from the west. There are some things on the west.
course, I've never been in the visitor center because I don't really need to. I more or less know what's in the area. And as far as I know, there's really nothing in there of interest to film. It's not a very hard walk up from this eastern side of the parking areas up to this man bridge. But, I mean, if you're older or if you have disabilities, you may not want to do it. Of course, it's a little bit easier, I guess, than the western side, because the western side has a whole bunch of steps. You can see there's the bridge. There's a little bit of look at the view out in the distance. There's the highway. But overall, it's a very nice stopping point here. This is basically, I don't know, about the 2/3 of the waypoint for me when I'm traveling to the destinations that I usually travel to in Maryland. So it's nice to get out and take a walk, get out of the car, and I guess kind of take in the views. As I said, this isn't really a service plaza, it's more of a rest stop. There's no real amenities here other than bathrooms and vending machines, but generally if I come here, that's all I need anyway. As you can see right here, there is one of those old school binocular things. You can take in different views. So from here, looking out over this way, you can see the expanse of the mountains here. As we talked about a little earlier in the history portion, it's kind of cool how they cut out the side of this mountain as opposed to what Pennsylvania did. And Pennsylvania more or less just built bridges and overpasses around lower points in the mountain, whereas Maryland just went ahead and blew up the sides of the mountain. Like I said in the history, what over here, which I'll show you in a minute, which used to be the visitor center, or what currently is the visitor center, used to be a museum, the Sideling Hill. However, it no longer is, and they moved all that geological stuff elsewhere. But it used to talk about all the geological processes. But as you can see, here's the view over the road, and I'll take you over to this side. This is a view of the cut in the mountain, which I think is really cool. You take a walk up to the upper point up there. I've never actually been up to that upper observation deck, but I'll take you guys up there after we go take a look at some other things down below, I suppose. I've since walked over now to the Vietnam Veterans Memorial here, which it's really nice in here. You could read this plaque. It was dedicated in '91. There's a bench, nice shade tree. And you can see over there through the trees is the visitor center. So we walked from the bridge. We originally parked over there on the other side, and we walked across the bridge all the way over here. I don't really want to film up too close to the visitor center because there's a lot of people around and there's kids and stuff, and you know, you don't want to deal with that, but you can get a good idea of, as visitors, you know, the highway and proportion, everything. It's a really nice place to get out and stop on your way traveling from any point east all the way over, or any point in the west over to the east. I may have said a couple of times in this video by accident the other way around, but this is basically, right now we're on the western side. If you were to go this way, you would be heading to the west, and this way you would be heading to the east. I parked over there. I'm heading to the east. I usually make this trip at least 3 or 4 times a year, I think, and every time I try to stop here. Now if it's too windy, I don't like to go up and go on the bridge because, you know, it's really windy. Now that we've got a pretty good view of what's going on this side of the thing and the memorial and everything, we're gonna go up to that high overlook up there, and I think we're gonna end off this video there, guys. So we'll be up at the top. Okay guys, we're back from the top of the overlook. It's a long walk up there, guys. Sorry that I'm out of breath, but wow, look at this view. You could see for miles around to the next set of mountains over there in the hills, all the towns on the other side of that. Also, if you walk up this way, you can see back in the towards the west where we came from. Whew, the views up here are beautiful, guys. I'm sure that some of you may have come here before. Some of you may have driven through here and never really stopped to take a look, but you know, at least once in your life, you know, you got to get out sometimes and stop and take a look at some of these things, you know. Part of it's me just being speechless from the views, and part of it's still me being out of breath from walking up here. I might have to stop and get a water at one of the vending machines on one side of the bridge or the other. I mean, geez, I haven't drank much water today. Been getting on that rowdy energy grind to try to make this 4-hour drive from western Pennsylvania to north central Maryland, or whatever you really want to call it. But look at the views. You can see the bridge down there where we crossed over. You can see the hill we walked up, and you can see the top of the visitors center right there, which used to be, like I said, a geological museum, to basically how they basically made this cut in the mountain. It's awesome, beautiful, beautiful stuff. I mean, really. So come on out here to Sideling Hill Rest Stop. Put it in your phone and Google, you'll be able to find it. I'm not 100% sure what the name of this town is or the locale where this is, but Sideling Hill Rest Stop, I-68, Maryland. You'll find it. And if you come out here, like I said, today's a beautiful day to come out here. It's sunny. I wore a hoodie because it was cold when I left the house at like 8 in the morning. But up here on these high things, it's warm. You could ditch the jacket probably if you're like me, if you're a big guy like me. If you're a little smaller and you get cold, you might need the jacket. But it's a beautiful weather day. It's not too windy, like I said. Horrible to come up here when it's windy. The winter, horrible time. But on a nice sunny day in the summer, you can get all these wonderful views. And it's just beautiful. I think that's about it for up here. I think I'm gonna take you back down, wind this video down, and it just never gets old, the views from up here, up the hillside, over here, and even the road, seeing all the trucks go by. But that's about it. I think I'm gonna walk back down this hill, and I'll be back with you guys in a minute. Back in the car now, walked all the way back down. Had to go take advantage of the bathrooms and vending machines. Kind of hurts me to spend $2.50 on a bottle of Aquafina, but I mean, it is what it is. I mean, the prices, I mean, there was a sticker on the machine that said it helps to support the blind, so I mean, I guess that's okay. I'd like to help people when I can. But let me know out there, is there anyone else who agrees that they just don't like Aquafina? I mean, my mother always says that water is water, but I can taste the difference. I mean, there's tons of people, my girlfriend, friends I've had over the years, who all agree Aquafina is just not good. But when you're feeling dehydrated, water's water. I contradicted myself. But anyway, I want to thank you guys for watching this video. This will probably be the first adventure kind of video that you guys have watched from me. If things go the way I think, I'll probably have put out the lawnmower video first by now, and probably then this, or maybe me working on bikes. If I haven't put that out yet, one of the next videos y'all are going to see is me trying to fix up my bike so we can go biking and we can do some adventure videos, taking bike rides through some scenic places. But anyway, I want to thank you guys for watching this video about Sideling Hill Rest Stop. Like I said, I make this trip about 4 times a year, and I try to come here all the time because the views are beautiful. But thanks for watching. There's going to be more content. I want to try to get at least a video a week. At least through the summer. Once we get into the fall, if things slow down, we might go every other week, or just some shorter videos. Let me know what you guys want to talk about. If there's anyone watching this video who's from, you know, anywhere along I-68, from Oakland, Maryland, all the way down to basically the split where 68 becomes 70. Drop a comment. Let me know if there's any cool stuff to look at. I know Antietam's through here. Maybe we'll go take a look at Antietam one of these days. But restaurants, roadside attractions, anything. If there's anything cool along 68, east or west, from Oakland, Maryland, all the way down to the split at 70, drop a comment and let me know if there's something I should look at, because I'm always looking for new stuff to show and talk about when I'm making this trip, this roughly 4-hour trip from western Pennsylvania to north central Maryland. I take I-40, basically, I take 51 to 40 to 68, and I know what's along 51 and 40. Drop a comment if you live in Pennsylvania along 51 from Rostraver all the way up to Uniontown, or if you live on 40 from basically right around Uniontown all the way to Oakland. I spent a lot of time in Farmington, Pennsylvania, doing stuff with the Scouts back in the day. I've been to Fort Necessity 1,000 times. Maybe we'll go there and do a video, I don't know. But anyway, I want to thank you guys for watching this video. Drop a like, drop a comment, subscribe if you want to see more videos. I'm going to be putting out more videos, don't worry about that. And then we'll see you on the next one.